Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to say welcome to another fresh edition of the program, The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line comes your way every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday with a special Saturday edition called the ANC Night. And on this program, we do discuss issues of national concern, and we discuss from top to bottom. So we say welcome to this edition, and tonight we have uh, added to our panel of guests, Madam Dolly Nelson. She's from Norway. Of course, we'll be hearing from her. And then we have Madam Antrik Jallo. Then we have Mr. Jamel Kamara from the UK, and Antrik is from Belgium, and I'm from Norway. So it's like one from Norway, one from UK, one from Belgium, and two from Norway, actually. So we'd like to say welcome to you guys. And first, we start with Madam Dolly, who is appearing for the very first time tonight, and probably she's going to be here frequently. So, Dolly, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and because you're going to be part of the panelists here, and people need to know who this Dolly Nelson is.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are. Well, as you know, my name is Dolly Nelson Elvik. I live and work in Norway, and I have been one of the ANC members affiliated Cardinal since 2017. And so I'm glad to be here today and to just give my input and see how far, what we can do and how can we help our people back home understand their responsibilities and their rights. So vote the right person, who is Mr. Cummings. So it's good to be here.
Okay, you're welcome. Antrik?
Yes. Good evening. Another day, another time. Yes, we are back again today with another thought-provoking topic today. So I ask our viewers to join us again to have a discussion. This is the bottom line where we discuss every issue without leaving no stone untouched. Thank you.
Okay. And later on in the program, we're going to be having Mr. Jamel Kamara with us. And so it's going to be a full house. And my name is Linford Gore. I'm your host, so to speak. But we are all hosting, though. We are part of the panels. But like we already said, tonight we're going to be having a serious discussion. The first thing we're going to be looking at is the stampede that happened in Newcrutan, the borough of Newcrutan in Monrovia, Liberia. For those of you who don't know, Newcrutan is a borough in the city of Monrovia. And information that we are gathering is that there was a crusade. And during this crusade, after the crusade, though, there was some attack from some group of people. Investigations are still going on, though, but the preliminary reports we're getting is that there was some attack on people that went to the crusade, and so there was pandemonium. And in that process, a lot of people begin to run helter skelter, and both children, women, and the elderly, and even some men got trampled upon. In a situation like that, you always have people who are not physically strong, even if you are strong, but in a situation like that, there is no hero. So what you find there is a survival. So we understand more than 20 people, almost close to 30 people lost their lives, sadly, after going to this crusade. So we'll be looking at that tonight. We'll be discussing what should have been done or what should be done in the aftermath of something like this. And we'll also be looking at the court case against the standard bearer of the ANC, Mr. Alexander Cummings, who was sued by the ALP. That case is in court, but there are a lot of developments coming from that case. And one of the developments from there is that the government prosecutor have asked the court for time to find more evidence so that they can make a case against Mr. Cummings. And we're going to be hearing from both the government prosecutor and the defense team from Mr. Cummings. And we'll have, for the first time, something strange on the bottom line tonight, which is very good, though, a news segment. That is, we're going to be hearing from our correspondent in Monrovia, Liberia, who will be bringing us the news. So we let us say welcome, share the video, invite your friend, and make this place, this platform, your home. Okay, guys, just before Jamel joins us, you've heard what we'll be discussing tonight. Antric, you've been following the developments from Liberia concerning the stampede. First and foremost, on behalf of all of us in the bottom line here, we'd like to extend our sincere condolences to the bereaved family. We all know what it feels like to lose family members, especially in this kind of situation. The person was not sick. I mean, they haven't complained of anything, and they were on a joyous mood, and then all of a sudden they did not return home. So on behalf of all of us, and personally, we would like to say our heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family. But Andre, what have you got us so far, concerning this incident in New Town?
It's really a tragic thing that happened, and I even lost one of my family members, my cousin, the younger one.
Our sympathy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's really unfortunate. It is unfortunate. We have a serious problem in Liberia, and I continue to say this. You have this senseless war that was brought upon the Liberian people. As a result of that, we have disadvantaged youth roaming every corner of the society. They are in every environment, and it is very, very much dangerous. And you have a police that do not do anything about it. They are not protecting the citizen. They just allow these people to roam about the streets and attack innocent civilians at night. And they see it to be nothing. Even the president came out and said that people should buy camera for their houses. Now look at what has happened. There is no security. Security is one of the major issue in every country. Because if the people are not secure, then who are you ruling if you cannot secure or protect the people? Most especially our vulnerable children. My heart bleed for those innocent lives, those children that were killed as a result of the failed system, the failed security system. These people should be, the government need to find a way to rehabilitate these disadvantaged youth. Liberian people always take things to be nothing. They always laugh about things, but it is dangerous. And we are seeing the result now. So it's just a tragedy. Everybody is affected, one way or the other. Every family is affected. I lost my cousin who woke up a morning, went to serve God, and she never knew that could be her end. It is sad, and we need a serious government, because this government now is already out. It's not a serious government. And I hope that Liberians will see reason not to vote President Weah or any other party except the ANC, because we need a real leader, a true leader who will transform our country and who will, make some of these things to be straightened up in our country, most especially the security. There is no security in that country. When you talk about it, they think that you are talking politics. But here is it. It is sad. It is so, so sad. My other cousin, he's a male, he's just crying, crying, crying the whole while. He's just crying. The entire Liberia, everyone is affected one way or the other. Either you lost your friend or you lost your neighbor. And ANC also have one of our partisans who lost his son, an innocent son, for God's sake. Because of this, oh my God, I don't want to say a word. I don't like to say a word on these guys or these disadvantage because I don't know. This is a serious problem because you have a lot of warlords in that country. You have the warlords and their wife, their husband, and they are the ones that are making decisions for us. My God, Liberians, how long can we continue to live in fear and think that these people are supposed to rule us after bringing atrocities upon our people, and we still have them in high position in government? What is the precedent that we are setting for our generation that is going to come after us? What is the message are we telling them that it is okay to do the wrong thing and there's nothing going to come out of it? There is no one that's going to be held accountable. Nothing at all. Instead, they are going to be rewarded. How long? Can we just stand up and stop being cowards and demand for the War and Economic Crime Court and demand for a better Liberia because we deserve better? That these people can be brought to justice and all of these disadvantaged youth in the street can be rehabilitated, put somewhere. Because our children are out there. If you don't think about yourself as an adult, think about those children. Those children that cannot fight for themselves, they are helpless. See the result. Innocent children met that untimely death. What kind of country are we? Why must we close our eyes to issues that are of danger and of most important in the country? We
Okay,
need to
we
stand
will
up.
go a little bit deeper into that, but let's hear from Dolly.
Yeah.
Dolly, I don't know how much you have heard um, about this incident that happened, this accident that happened, if I should call it accident. Did you have any information? Have you heard anything from there?
What happened is that I heard about it yesterday from Jamel
Mm-hmm.
because I had no time to go on social media yesterday because of my work. So when he called me in the evening, I was like, what are you talking about?" And then he said 50 persons died in Nuku town, like 50 persons. What happened? And he wouldn't explain. So I'm like, no, I have not heard about it, but I can start. So I start to, after we got off the phone, I start to call people I know in Liberia and people I know abroad and getting information. And then I was told, then I went to find news on the different social media, and then I went to Front Page Africa. It was not there, but then saw something on Phone TV, then went back to front and I found it. And then like, okay, so these people went for a crusade in Nuku town. And a pastor or a church called a crusade in the middle of the week that went on to 12 midnight, saying there were kids in the crowd, young children in the crowd. So as much as we want to blame those young men or boys, whatever, I won't label them as people label them because it's not who I am. But we still have to get the root cause of what was it, what's the problem. We stay looking to know what is it, how did it happen, what caused it. A lot of stories coming out. Yet and still, we have to first put the bereaved family first. We have to put those in the hospitals first.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we have to hold our government accountable. We also have to hold those pastors accountable. They should be asking questions as well. They should tell us what went on. But they were there. We were not there. And so they,
I have been on the social media, and I've seen a lot of arguments and counter arguments. Some say um, the arrangers of the
the
crusade,
organizers of
the
yeah,
organizers, so to speak, and they should be held responsible. And some
yeah.
say no, they shouldn't be held responsible because it was
No.
an open space, and people went there voluntarily and whatever. And some people also argue that the government should have provided security. But in the midst of all of this, you know, for me, I don't want to establish who is right or who is wrong. But the question here is, what do we think should have been done in such a case to avoid that situation? What do you think the people would have done?
What I think, I always say, if those people, there was what I saw is thousands and thousands of people on that field, as I saw you. If those people, if 50% of those people had jobs that they had to go to the next morning, they wouldn't have been on that field looking for signs and wonders. So we have to first go to the root of the problem. Look, I grew up in Liberia. We went to church. It was not like that. We went to church on Sundays. In the afternoon, we went home. So now the Liberians are so gullible on that when they hear there's something going on there that you're going to have a miracle. What kind of miracle? So let's look at the root cause of the problem. And Andre said the government should take responsibility. And for me, I said the pastors should take responsibility as well. The organizers should take it as well. There should be a law put in place for these so-called, I'm sorry to say so-called pastors, because when I look at that thing, what I saw, the first meeting, second of this thing, they was asking for money. How can you go to a place that we all know to be one of the poorest neighborhood in Liberia to ask them for money when you say they came for salvation? What salvation did you call them for? So let us look at the root cause of this thing and stop blaming those young men. For me, I'm not going to blame the young men. What happened was wrong. We have to know what led them to that. And if you knew it was a dangerous area, why took our people there?
Yeah, but okay. Let me just play the devil's advocate. We all grew up in Monrovia, and we know that when it comes to religious activities, when there is, I remember vividly, sometimes in the early 80s, when was it the early 90s, I think, when Jimmy Swaggart went to Liberia, a lot of people attended. Okay, a lot of people attended, and this other pastor from Germany, Reinhard Bonnke, that was around the early or the late 90s, when he went to Liberia, right on the airfield there, at the end of the airfield, where we call Fish Market. That place was packed until some people were even coming from Pinsway. They couldn't make it because of the traffic. They couldn't make it on the time. And but what I'm trying to say is that normally when Liberians hear about religious activities, crusade, and all this kind of thing, everybody will go voluntarily, and there is no security mechanism put into place because it's just impossible if you have like 4 entrances to an event in Liberia to place security forces all along the routes and people coming from different directions. So I'm just being a devil's advocate. When people say
But
that the
let me
government, the
just say,
government should have deployed security, I don't know how.
let me say something, Ellen Ford. You
Mhm,
just said when you have 4 or 5 entrances, as
mhm,
I'm hearing, it was just one entrance, one way in, one way out.
mhm.
So you see, if I recall, if my memory serves me right, on the airfield there was an open field. There was no
Right.
you go. It was an open field. You could go any direction. I mean, you out. You just out. It's a complete open field. It was not sealed
Mhm.
out.
Mhm,
You
Yeah.
understand? And so you can't compare that to what happened in Nuclear Town
But the
because
thing, the thing is, Madam Dolly, whenever President Weah is going to Town, he always use that field, and he has a lot of police around. Why is it that they did not give police to the same people to protect the people. So he only care
No,
about
but
his
somebody will say the people never requested the presence of the
That's what I'm
police.
about to say, Andre. You can say that because it goes back to the organizer. Because first thing first, let's face it, we're talking about
But
COVID
he,
time.
for God's sake, he is the. Oh
No,
my God.
Andre. Let's
We are,
do it.
no, no,
Let's
no,
back
no,
on the
Madam
Bible.
Dolly.
Let, let,
We live in a developed world, where the authorities they look at every citizen. Anything that happens, they have to control it. Even if they have organizers, but they also take precautionary measures. The police, you will see the police will be all around to look whether everything is in order. That's
yeah,
a
but
normal society. This is why we are here sitting talking about Liberians should choose better. A
okay,
normal
let me
society.
just say,
We are not
Andre,
living in a normal society.
before you go far, let me just say something. What you just said here, where we are sitting, in fact, before those things are held, the church go and inform the government.
Yes.
So
But the government was informed. The
no, no,
government was
wait,
informed.
Andrew, wait. The church
Mhm.
go and inform the government and ask the government, we're going to have this thing, and they will ask you, how many people are you expecting? And you will say between this amount or that amount. Okay,
Mhm.
what is your security network? You
Yes.
tell them. What
Mhm.
have you put in place? You tell, and the government will say, okay, now this, and this have to be done. This where we're going to come in. But you can't just allow it. Let's be, we should talk it as it is. Joshua, man, I'm not a fan of Joshua. I get it straight. I'm ANC.
But the
But
thing
you
is,
can just,
we're not talking about Georgia in particular. We are talking
yeah, but I'm
about
talking about the
the
police.
police. The
So we have
police
to find out
fail
if
to
this call
do.
went to the police. Did it go to the
They fail
police?
even if the police the police were not informed, but it is their duty to make sure that the citizen, where you have little children, to make sure that it is safe. That is what I'm saying. You think
Okay, okay,
during,
yeah. Andre, you are speaking in theory, but practicality is absent.
but that's what I'm
Absent.
saying. It's
Yeah.
absent. That
So
is the failure of the government. This is why
in
I'm
Liberia,
putting
we
it
all know.
on the
In Liberia,
government
we
that
all know
they
the
fail
shortcomings
these
are.
people.
We all know. No, let me tell you. I grew up on a bypass right opposite the police station, the old police station
Mhm.
before they built a new one. I grew up there. I lived in that place from the early 70s all the way to 1984. Before I grew up, I was born. I had to move on my own. My parents remained there. Okay. I know. Right opposite the police station there, crime used to
Mhm.
happen. People, we
Okay.
living right there. When they say roll, that we, the citizens, will catch a roll. You call police will say, they're not coming, they're not playing
That
the,
police.
you see. So
So
we all know the
is
shortcomings. The
that,
shortcomings that
Madam
they,
Dole, is that a normal,
No, my point, you see,
normal,
my point of the matter is that we have never had system in place in Liberia. Let's face
yeah.
correct.
it.
That's
Mhm.
it.
That's the
That's the
point.
bottom
We
line.
have never had system in place in
And
Liberia.
too many lives have been lost because of this. So how long Liberians, I'm talking to Liberians in particular because they are the one keep electing the wrong leaders who fail to put a good system in place. So I'm talking to them right now because when the shit hit the wall, it happens to them and not the government, because the government, they have their luxury, like Upon and his criminal gangsters. They have everything to their comfort. It is you who voted, and you are the one that is going through the suffering and all of the disadvantage.
Okay, yeah, it has happened. But for me,
It
what I'm
has
thinking,
happened. How many
what I'm
had
thinking now,
how many had
yeah, listen to me now,
happened?
listen to me. Let me learn.
Mhm.
What I'm thinking now is, what can we suggest
But we have
as
been suggesting. We have been suggesting. So at this stage,
yeah, we have been
bottom
suggesting,
line,
but things are not been working and lives are still being lost. So
at this bottom line, it's not about what the government will do or what is the suggestion. It's about what the citizens will do, what Liberians must do, must
okay,
elect the right
so if
leader.
you were to suggest to Liberians what to do, what would you tell them?
I just said it in Linfo. Liberians should elect the right leader that will put the right system in place to
Yeah,
avoid
but people have been
innocent
electing.
lives.
People have been coming and say they are the right leader. They have been electing them. Nobody can read a mind of anybody.
No,
Okay.
but it's not about reading the mind. When you check all of those people track record,
Mhm.
it is clear. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that this person is going to be a total failure. But Liberians fail to realize. You can see someone serve in government for 42 years without nothing, no record, and then you say we should make them president. You can see a man who had almost $1 million and spent it wastefully, and he was also a senator for 12 years. He didn't do anything for that identical county that he represented, and you
Okay.
made him a president. So there is no record.
Okay.
Look at the track record.
Let's do away with politics for now. Let's not politicize the whole incident.
No, it's not. It's not politics. We are facing the reality. We are
Yeah,
going
the
down
reality
to
is
the
there, but
bottom line.
what we thinking about, what I'm thinking about,
Mhm.
that most Liberians want to hear is what advice can we give the authorities? Because I don't even
But
have
you
the
know, you
guarantee.
give the advice, they will not
Nobody
take it.
has a guarantee that even if you make me president today, I will do what you think I will do. So what I think the what we need to do is to keep giving advice
Advice.
to the authorities that be, so that they can put the right system into place. Now,
Georgia government
Andre,
is a
go to the comments and read some of the comments. And
Georgia government is a zombie government. You
yeah,
saw
but
the
go to the
more
comments
dancing
and read some of
zombie.
the comments, and then we'll discuss them.
Okay, our first comment. Let's go there. Okay, this first viewer say I'm watching.
Yeah, let me pull it
The
up.
second one said I disagree. Yes, I disagree with you that if 50% were going to have job, people were not going to go to the crusade. So it was the one that Madam
Yeah,
Dolly
Madam
said.
Dolly said. Madam Dolly
I
said.
stick to it. I stick to it that if 50% of those people, if he had a job, they wouldn't. We have had less death on our field yesterday on Tuesday or Wednesday.
And I agree with you.
Don't you think even 200% will have job, but they still believe that they should serve that God?
No, Linford, we in this Norway, we knew what is what Norway's like Christianity 40, 50 years ago, when things were difficult in this country. It was these people went to church. It was mandatory they went to church. It was a law they had to go to church. When they were so poor, and they believed by praying that things would get better. Not until they discovered oil in 1967.
And so they see, so you see,
when oil was discovered and there was no jobs available and life became good.
Yeah, but wealth can influence religion. Wealth can influence religion, because I've had Norwegians who look at me in the face and tell me, "You Africans go to church because you are poor and you're looking for somebody to help you."
Exactly so. That's the fact.
So
all the people who went over there, they were looking for some form of miracle that they will leave from there and things were just happy in their lives.
Yeah, but I don't want us to go to the religious side, the religious advantages and whatever. But I believe some of the most wealthy people in the world, they are also Christians.
Don't get me wrong. I am a Christian, but it's not religious. It's that religion. You see, the people went on our field on Tuesday. Today's on Wednesday, looking for some form of miracles, that things will happen when they leave from there, or when they pray, things will change and everything will be okay. You see, if those people had a job and know I went to job, I get paid, I pay my taxes, I pay my bills, I go just to serve God, not to look for that desperate need of some change in my life. So you will have less people go. Why would they take their babies there? Why would someone take their babies to a place at that hour of the night? So it's not this thing. What I want to face it or not, it's a reality. If these people had jobs, trust me, we'll have less death.
And that comes down to the same government. Government failed to empower the people.
Yeah,
empowerment. And so
That
they
I
have
agree
to
with
seek,
you.
they
I
have
agree
to
with you.
seek help from God to help them in some kind of miracle to happen.
And Andre, you know, you and I know it will not happen. No miracle will happen. You know, you and I know that it will not happen. The only way it's going to happen is for the government to create jobs and
But
to
it's
educate
like,
our people. That even the Bible tell us the lack of knowledge of my people perish, and that's what
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
So
But
the only thing is,
but
I put
is
another
it
that
that
the only thing that would change your situation is to have a job that pays you and pays you well, and you can pay
mhm.
your bills and put food on the table for your kids. I'm not saying don't go to church, but you won't be that desperate.
Okay,
Yeah, so
you know,
desperate.
you know, that this is a big debate. Okay, Andre, proceed with the next
The
comment.
next comment say the organizer was supposed to tell the police of their crusade. If they did not do it, then they were in error.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, but I think we touched that. Jamel
yeah,
just
I,
joining
I
us
spoke
from the
about it.
UK.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
police.
Jamel.
Then another person said the police were not informed. The police were not informed, and then the other person said um, the
Well,
reverend is
regarding the comment
responsible.
regarding, sorry, Andre, that I'm
Mm.
the comment regarding the police were not informed. That I can't speak to it because I'm sure the person who made his comment is not working in the police. He is not, he or she is not an authority from the police. The only
Yep.
person that will say this, and I believe it, could be Moses Carter, the police spokesman or the police director. Because all of us
See?
there, whatever we say, but nobody knows whether the people informed. There's a local police zone or depot at around Nuclear Town, so I'm sure something. So we cannot confirm whether the police were informed or not. Yeah, continue
No,
with
let me
the
just say something. Let me just say something, Andre.
Mhm.
Linford,
yeah.
I stand in correction here. Has there
Mhm.
been any police at the police call a press conference since this thing happened on Wednesday?
No,
No,
I've not heard it. Well,
So
no, the police did not call a press conference, or maybe they did, but I didn't hear it. But what I know is that the police director did visit the area, and then he
it's
even declared,
different. Did
yeah,
he
he
call
even
a press
declared,
conference? He did
well,
not.
yeah,
He
they
did not
not. But
inform the
what I know
public.
is that the police director actually did visit the area, and he even declared, he along with the city mayor of Monrovia, and he declared all Zogos wanted.
Or what?
All of the Zogos,
the
the people who
disadvantage you
the disadvantaged children who they say were responsible for, I'm using the word they say because I don't know for sure whether the disadvantaged children actually
they
did.
are disadvantaged because
But
they were as a result of the war. They
but
are
Jamel, do you hear
disadvantaged.
us?
Yeah, I follow you guys.
Okay, now we're discussing this incident in Nuclear Town, and I mean we've gone further, and Andrew was just reading some of those comments on the board. So I don't know if there's anything that you've heard or that you'd like to add to what we've been discussing.
Yeah, according to my information, what I've heard, it was after the crusade, they were leaving, going home. Those crusaders were going home, and they were attacked at the entrance, to take their money. There's something. There are different revelations coming out, but that's what I heard so far from the reporters that were on the scene. That there was a fellow on the scene, called himself City Police. He was talking to a journalist that he was there. He was helping people, the injured. He was taking them to the hospital, and those that were deceased. I mean, there were the casualties. So they were involved back in picking them, carrying them to the hospital. So he said that they were, after I think the man of God asked us to come and give their tithe or pay their whatever they want to give. And they were on the stage, people were giving money while others were going home. They got attacked at the entrance, and from the attack, it was a stampede. People started fighting, run away, and people got trampled upon, they got killed. That was my information. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, listen, we all have information to blame the government. We should also know the other side of it. I look at the side of those who organize the crusade. You need to take into consideration the health and safety of the people. That's very important. it's happening around here. I mean, those who follow history, you follow what happened in Nigeria. The synagogue, the late TB Joshua, a building or two, a building got, collapsed. You saw that. Hundreds of people got killed from all over international people. They were there for crusade. They got killed. And the government, what happened? I mean, these disasters is waiting to happen. If we don't take the precaution measures, like the engineer that put that building together, they were held responsible. What we are saying here, if the pastor was involved in putting his own security together, arranged it, like, when you have this kind of crusade, there must be, like, first and foremost, you must have records must be there. First and second one, there must be some team that will be there, make sure that the people that are going for the crusade are protected, looking at the security of the state. Those are things we all know about it. So I'm not blaming I'm blaming the organizers of the crusade, like John, my sister, and Dolly Nelson. We understand that they should put those things in place before they have those crusades.
I understand, but I was reading somewhere where people were arguing. Somebody said, "What if these people are gone?" Or what if, because people were trying to shift the blame squarely on the pastor, on the organizer, and somebody said, "What if the time they were there, even if the pastor has security and everything, but what if the time they were there, or fire has caught on somebody and started to burn all the people, all the rain have fallen, will the pastor protect them?"
No, but listen, what we are saying here, go on, sis Nelson.
We are seeing the same thing. Those things are being put in place. So the organizer, we ask whether it was fire, whether it was water, whether it's guns or whatever it is, the organizer are to be held responsible. And you and I know that.
So I want to understand something. This man is a foreigner, first of all. He entered the country.
Where you got the information from?
Is he a foreigner?
You need to get information. That's a Liberian.
He's a Liberian.
Abraham Kromah is not a foreigner. He's a Liberian boy.
I don't think his, in this case, I don't think his nationality.
Although there were other pastors from other
there is no breach of
no,
nationality.
It's not about nationality. I was thinking that maybe if he came from out, then the immigration should know how he entered and what was his purpose of entering. But since he's a Liberian, and he was having a crusade, then the authorities should have some idea about it, because in the borough of Newtown, they have leadership there. That's a township where you have.
Let's be honest here with ourselves. Let's our hearts go to all the people that lost their family, injured. Let's first understand that the country is bereaved right now. We're discussing this, so you also know that there should be some prevention measures. Like there should be a watershed for our people to set up preventive measures.
Yes.
What we are saying here is, even Linford suggested of if it's an outbreak of fire, of course there should be fire extinguisher around. These things should be in place.
First aid. There should be first aid,
fire extinguisher, crowd control. When you talk about crowd control, those are things you come to your mind when you're putting hundreds of people together. You live in this world. I mean, we all live in this developed world. If you expect to have 50% in the house, they expect you to get fire exit. That should be in place before they allow you to license you to have people to be in the house. So let's agree that government is saying, well, look, the government of Liberia, let's forget that. We don't discuss politics.
No, the thing is, what I'm getting out to people are not understanding, because one cannot just have a crusade on a field without informing those that arrange the crusade. They need to inform the authorities within the bureau, right?
Yeah, listen, that's a different thing altogether. Or inform the authority, the government is stressed out to a level that they don't have the resources to bring security to guard those people. You need the organizers need to put their house in order. First, put your own security around. Make sure that people will not be invaded. Make sure you have the first in place. Make sure you have water, anything that is possible to have a safety keyword. It's not observed.
Then the government need to persecute these people, the organizer.
Now you come in. That's what we're looking at. This you also organize it before you put crowd together. Those things happening. If you were in Liberia in the late 80s, we had a football match that happened. There was a crusade. I think in one Liberia, one country were playing. People died. People died. We like something just shouted. The whole thing, I said something was falling down. We were kids at the time in the stadium. Like, we were playing against the country at that time. Those who were around, we lost a lot of Liberians that day. And what you would say, the government did not put in place. It happened. These things happen, but if you can prevent it, the casualties are minimized. So what we are saying here is like these give us sign that if you're organizing people together, more than 50 people, those measures must be in place. Make sure first aid, security, your own security, put your first security, your own security in place first. Make sure the people's lives are secure. Health and safety is a key word. Fire extinguisher, first aid, everything. If we don't discuss this, I mean, we discuss. I know it's not time to discuss when people are bereaved, but we need to talk these things so we can give our own opinion on issues where government can look into. People can look at it that they can put those safety measures in place in that country. It's sad. It's very sad. 11 children, pregnant women.
Can I just say something before Chairman? Let me say something, because secondly, and the reason why the organizers should be held responsible is that, look at, you have children in that group, in that crowd. So you calling a crusade, no kids were going to be there. You have to start from this time and that time for the kids to be home. You carry the thing all the way up to midnight where there were babies. And honestly, I tell people, I feel sorry for the groom that died, but my heart, I got angry and hyped for those babies that life had just begun and were taken away from them. Babies. So you have a church and you call a crusade, and you know the mothers coming, pregnant women are coming, and you kept them on until that time. What kind of God are you serving, man?
First of all, everybody should be held accountable and should be brought to justice. One, the organizer of the crusade. Two, those authorities within the borough of Newtown. Were they informed? What was the advice or the decisions that they took, or what was their suggestion to this organizer? What was it they told them to put in place?
Andre, I don't think you're getting this thing, because you keep on shift the blame on other people.
No, I'm not shifting blame on other people. I'm holding everyone accountable.
Let me just do it this way. If you in Brussels, now the rule in Europe now, you can be more than a certain amount of person in a gathering at this time.
Yes.
So
yes.
if I'm having a gathering, I have to go to the state. I go to them. They don't come to me. I go to them. They do not come to me. If I don't go to them and something happens, they're coming for me, not the people. They're coming for me, the host, because it was my house or it was my yard. So there's no way we can put this thing. He or they should have gone. So let's say, okay, there's no structure put in place. Then use your own common sense, because you have people coming that are vulnerable. And the most hurtful part for is that I'm yet to hear this pastor talk.
That's probably the pastor. I mean, I think the pastor should be overwhelmed. Now, let's look at it this way. The pastor, again, I'll play the devil's advocate. The pastor, I know he did not mean that such thing will happen. And so if he had known, he wouldn't have even organized such thing with that kind of huge turnout. But there were a lot of errors that occurred. First and foremost, we are in a pandemic. You're not supposed to assemble a lot of people at one point. That was against the rule. Secondly, as we are all thinking, also suspecting that there was no security mechanism put into place. That's the other error. The third error is that the state security itself, seeing the danger that we live in now, according to the pandemic, that they see a lot of people conglomerating. They shouldn't have sat down and said, well, let's wait until somebody come and call us before we go to act. So they should have been proactive. So everybody, I mean, let's talk.
Everybody that's everybody's responsibility. I'm telling you, I'm hurt because of those innocent children that life had to be cut short. And I'm holding everyone responsible, the church, the pastor, the organizer, the leadership of the borough of Newtown, the police, everyone, I'm holding them responsible. I'm not taking anyone out and say, oh, I hold the organizer responsible, because all of them are responsible for this innocent life, Even you don't think about anything but think about those children. The decision of those children lies with us, the adults. We are the one that make decisions for them until they can get older. So these are the ones that I'm talking about. My advocacy on Facebook is always about women and children. Those are the most vulnerable. So I'm holding everyone accountable right now. Even the government need to come out and call every parties and let them be brought to justice. Let's know what was the root cause, what happened, and how this can be prevented never to happen again. I also lost my cousin. She
Okay,
never knew that tomorrow or today she will be dead.
we've delved into this thing
Can
for
I
long now.
just say something? Sorry, can I
Yeah,
give me a last comment, please?
yeah.
While we're talking about, also we should look at those that if alleged to attack the Crusaders, let's see that situation and see what led them to get to that level. The social system is not working. They're not being looked after. I think if I have to agree with Antrick, I agree on that level, where these people need to be looked after, because you don't blame them. They've been pushed
I
against
said
to a certain level.
empowerment.
The government is, I mean, if what the government, the system is, forget about the government. We all are responsible. I think we are all responsible for what's going on in our country right now. The rehabilitation process is not working. The people are pushed. If the social system is not working, it's a complete breakdown. What happened? The pressure is on the people to move for the look for daily bread. These guys were doing it. If they did it, was doing to get a daily bread. The guy those people attack the government because nothing's working anymore. The country is not working well. So if you also have to have sympathy with those people that attack, I mean, they attack
No,
the
there's no
people that.
sympathy for
No,
them.
we should
No,
do it. No,
Mr.
we should
Jam.
also
There's
understand.
no.
No, if you know,
There's no
listen, let me
sympathy
explain
for them.
something. There's something, let me get you something. What happened in some people, what they say like somebody on the street is
Because
crazy.
they can take innocent life of children, then we have no. For me, I don't have no sympathy for them, and the government should do their work and get rid
Yeah,
of them, put them where they
they
are supposed to
they
be
can
long
be
time ago.
they can be persecuted. But while we talking about, you just mentioned rehabilitation, what it means. What you mean if you rehabilitation? Those people are on the street. You said disadvantaged people. You said rehabilitation. Do you understand the words? It means take people off the street, make them good citizens.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
we're
it.
talking about. So we're not talking about, you think they're being pushed, they want to go and kill somebody, their own people. If you look at those who are involved, they maybe be related to people that got killed.
Yeah.
It's a situation pushed in there. So let's be very honest with ourselves. We know that we also look at the government should do something for them. All the crazy people on the street, you don't want to be crazy on the streets. They don't have the means. So we
You're muted.
the flip side of everything. So we should also understand that the people are in trouble. They are trouble themselves. So what led them to get to that level? So I want to stop there. That was a comment I want to make on the Linford. I think we are all, like you said, every side need to take responsibility in this case.
Every side, Mr. Jamin. That's why I say
Okay,
everyone is responsible.
Madam Dolly, what's your final cut on that? Or final advice or whatever you will call it?
As you know, as I always say that if you look at Liberia right now, most of the young boys and girls are on the street that are being labeled the way they are called. Children, I'm going to go back. Children that came, I would say, from the war. They were born, some of them were born after the war, some of them were born in the war, and some of them were born just between. But if we should hold people responsible for those kids where they are now, it should be the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government.
Yeah.
Because I always give example. I said when Ellen came to power, those kids might have been 2 years, 3 years, even up to even 10 years or even 15 years. She could have molded their minds. Those kids she had invested in those kids' education, vocational centers, rehabilitations. She would have molded their minds that we won't have those kids on the street today. We have never been none of them. But Ellen had that, she took over a virgin country. It's like you gave birth to a baby and you did nothing with this treatment. Even those that were even 21 years old could have done something in their lives. So what happened now? Came that we are government. So what Ellen left, they just multiplied. So until we
They
can
just
go
spoil
back
it.
and get those young children off the street, let them understand their value, their worth, their
Mhm.
responsibility to themselves and to Liberia, we will always have these problems. 2, system, structure we need in Liberia.
Mhm.
Whatever way we put it, wherever we put it, we need structure and system and consequence if you don't follow the law or the rules of those structures. So until we can get these things in place, we will
Yeah.
always sit there and say, let me remind you guys, was it what, a year or 2 years ago when those babies died in the fire
Yeah.
in Painesville?
Hmm.
We said the same thing. We made noise.
Yeah.
We made noise. We yet to get the report of how those babies died. Now come again.
Amazing.
So we have to put things structure in place that we will save the lives of our people
Mhm.
that we need. We need. So until that is done, we will always sit here after maybe a few months or few years and say, "Oh Lord, what can we do again?"
Okay, but folks, we cannot read all of the comments. What we will do is probably, because we have already read some and discussed, and we'll just probably read one or more pertinent ones. Once I make some connection to the topic that we are discussing, and I think somebody wrote here and said the police, because we were talking about police having a press conference. Somebody said the police had already had a press conference, but like I said, I did not. Unfortunately, I did not listen to that. What I do know is that Patrick Sulu went on the ground and he even declared all the disadvantaged children that we call Zugos. He declared all of them wanted. So I don't know how they're going to do that. A lot of people have been saying that they should hunt them down, grab them. But if you run all of them up today, where do you put them? We don't have a
Thank
facility.
you.
We don't have any facility now. And Liberians, we are like this. We wait. We always reactive.
Until
We wait when
something
something
happens.
happens before we start moving.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we'll go today after all the Zogos. And mind you, in that hunt for Zogo, a lot of innocent people might get hurt or die too. Because somebody who hates somebody will say, oh, they made a Zogo. Okay. We got a lot of kids that left from the interior side that live in Monrovia. I know some children from our hometown in the interior that live in Monrovia that got no family. They're hustling. Okay. They're not Zogo though, but they're hustling. They're somebody live in group. So somebody who has such a child can say, oh, they see the group of boys that's Zogo, and they can run it up and they will end up in the jail for nothing. So we have to be very careful in a dispensation of the justice system, what we want to achieve. But I don't think Andre, you can read our last comment and then we can. Okay.
The person said, yes, the police had press conference today and informed the public that they were not uniform.
Informed. Okay. But then they were not informed.
They
Okay.
were
But
not
then,
informed. Sorry.
yeah. So then I mean the police have vindicated itself, and so we will now move to
It's
the
a
most
wow.
one of the most interesting.
Liberia is a place. I'm telling you, a police saying that they were not informed. Oh my God.
Yeah, of course, they can say they were not informed. In a case like this, everybody will have to take a stand. They will not say we were informed. If they say they were informed, then somebody will ask, why? Then why didn't people provide security? So they are. So if anybody goes to court now, if the parents of the
Deception, lies.
how
That's
do
the
you know?
the
I don't think
root
they
of
were.
our
I
country.
don't think they were informed because we don't have that system put in place in Liberia. So I don't think they were informed.
They were not informed. I know Liberia very well. People can do anything.
Anything.
People go on the beach.
Anything.
They go on a beach, dangerous beach, where there's no safety system, no life vest or whatever. They go there. How many people have not died? I mean, right before on the African Plaza was built, right beyond opposite City Hall there. Because I live on the Papa, that was we used to go. How many friends we didn't lost there? Every day they beat us for not going there, but still we go there. So I know we talk so and we talk so. So
Yeah.
for now we're gonna join our correspondent in Liberia with the news segment, and this news segment is going to be a regular feature on the bottom line, because we'll listen to the happenings in the news and then we'll get some ideas and then we can also discuss what we will hear in the news. So we're going to take, we the panelists will take our break, and then that going away from you, but we all will listen to our news segment in just a few seconds from now. And so we join our correspondent in Monrovia for our news segment.
Good evening and welcome to the news segment of Bottom Line Liberia. My name is Angelique Noah presenting. At least 29 people in Liberia, including 11 children and a pregnant woman, have died in a stampede of worshippers at a Christian ceremony in a thickly populated area of the capital, Monrovia. The bodies have been taken to the morgue of Redemption Hospital, close to where the incident occurred in Niku Town. Monrovia City Court Judge Jomanjala has rejected prosecutors' request to conduct a televised trial in the case involving Mr. Alexander B. Cummings of the Alternative National Congress, adding that the motion was against Rule 11 of the Judicial Principle of Liberia. Criminal Court C. Judge Nancy F. Sami has issued a contempt charge against Police Inspector General Patrick Sudu. The contempt charge was drawn against Inspector Sudu for his alleged disrespect and refusal to honor the Supreme Court's ruling passed over to the lower court for implementation. In another development, the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Alexander B. Cummings, says he is totally shocked and upset over the action taken by the Liberian National Police to disperse protesters who had gathered within the proximity of the Temple of Justice and the Capitol building to call for a quick trial of the case where he stands accused for forgery and criminal conspiracy by the political leader of the All Liberia Party, Benina Wilfred Ure. The Female Journalists Association of Liberia has called on all human rights and civil society organizations, including the Independent National Commission on Human Rights, the media and stakeholders, to join its call for a free, fair and speedy trial for one of its members, Betty Johnson Bayo, and others. Montserrado County Senator Abraham Darras Dillon has called on Senate Pro Tem and members of the Senate to declare drug a national pandemic in the country. His request came minutes after the death of 29 people in Niku Town. Liberty Party Chairman Musa Hassan Beliti has come out to accuse Mr. Ure of knowingly damaging the CPP by turning over the entire chat history of the CPP to the government of Liberia as evidence to persecute Mr. Cummings. Mr. Beliti took to the social media on Thursday to reveal what he termed as a conspiracy perpetuated by Mr. Ure to damage the CPP. The Liberian Senate Budget Committee has ignored claims made by the chair of the National Elections Commission of the infusion of over $2 million United States dollars into the Commission's 2022 budget by one of the commissioners. The Senate's decision to ignore the claim is due to discovery that said amount is not in the 2022 draft national budget. And Liberia's Vice President Jewel Howard Taylor is calling on the women of Africa to pay more attention to politics, stressing that laws affecting the welfare of women are being abandoned across the continent. Those were the latest developments from our news segment. My name is Angelique Noah, and thanks for listening.
Okay. We let us say welcome back again, and thanks for our correspondent there, Angelique Noah in Monrovia, Liberia. And like I said, we're going to have the news segment as a regular feature. Well, guys, you listen to the news from Liberia. Any take on it? Any of the news?
A lot.
Jamel, you are muted, Jamel. I can see you laughing. You are muted. Okay, Dolly, let's start with you. What did you heard the news about the stampede? Of course, we've been discussing it in depth. Then you heard about the court case against Mr. Cummings. Then you also heard about Patrick Sudu being sued. So a lot of things.
I'm going to go to the court case against Mr. Cummings, but I think it's going to be a topic, so maybe I should skip that, right?
Yeah. I think you can keep all of your bombshell. I know this is a new thing I start hearing in Liberia. News bombshell. So keep your bombshell.
Well, my attention was drawn to a female journalist,
Oh yeah,
and
Betty.
I happen to be
Can I
friends
finish,
with.
Andre? Can I finish before you come in?
Oh, I thought you already finished, Madam Dolly. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Because
The floor is all yours.
my attention mainly was drawn to after all of those things, the one that to Vice President Joa Howard Taylor calling on more women to get involved into politics.
Mhm.
But I'm going to be a little bit hard on her here. If women should come into politics and follow her footsteps, then they may as well find something else to get into.
To do. Yeah.
Why?
Oh, see, I
Why?
have a strong woman on this show.
You see,
Yes.
when women comes
You
into
speak the
politics,
truth.
we expect that woman to talk on things that affects women and children.
Mhm.
We have I'm going to forget about Ellen. So I'm going to stick on Joa Howard Taylor because she was talked about in this segment.
Mhm.
We have a VP, which is a woman. We have had numerous rape cases in Liberia of young children, young boys and girls and women. We have had numerous abuse cases in Liberia where people got murdered and there are women and young children. We are yet to hear a word from this woman.
Yeah, but
Now,
did you
no,
listen?
hold on
Did
one
you
second.
listen? No,
What
I'm
is
coming.
the role model? What is the role
Yeah, but
model?
did you listen to her call? She did not call on women to advocate. She called on women
She
to be
said to
involved
get
in
into
politics.
politics. So
Getting into politics and then
when
being
you get
advocate,
into
they are two different
politics, you
things.
have to make sure that our laws. This woman was before she became VP, she was in the House of Senate where laws were passed. I'm yet to hear. I stand in correction here. How many laws did this woman pass that had women and children at heart benefited from?
Nothing.
She's yet
Instead,
a VP.
Mhm.
I'm yet to know what she have done to make sure women and children are well empowered under her leadership as a vice president.
As usual, nothing. She just
So
sit there and collect
when
free
you come
money.
into politics, is to make a difference. That's what you come into politics for. You just come in because you want the money. Because in Liberia, it's only about the money.
Yeah.
You come because you want to sit at the table. So if you at that table and your voice
Make a
cannot be
change.
heard,
Make a difference.
why are you there?
I think,
Why is she
Madam
there?
Dollar, the way you are talking now, they coming to attack you because she have all of
I
her
really don't care. I
syndicates
speak my
all
truth.
around.
I
You
speak
can
my
talk.
truth. This, and
Okay,
I know these people.
I
I
think we
know
need
the
to talk. We
family
need to talk
very
one at a
well.
time because our
Very well, I
listeners,
know the family.
need to hear what we say. So we need to talk one at a time so that we can pass a message on. Because what everybody says is very important. So if I'm talking, I'll give you the opportunity to finish talking. I mean, or you give me the opportunity to finish talking so that the listeners will hear me, or even you yourself will hear me well, and then we can pick up some points. So Madam Dolly, proceed, and then after Andre will come in, and then we can hear from Jamal.
So at the end of the day, we should be able to speak the truth and let her take our criticism as some form of improving herself. So I come back. If she's the role model for women to get into politics, we may as well find other careers, go into nursing and medicine and lawyers and something else. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
Okay, Andre.
Madam Dollar is right. If people who have been following me on this borderline know that I've always spoke about this woman, Joa Howard Taylor. In 2018, we also call upon this woman. Why did you sit down and allow 50 young Liberian girls under the age of 18 by the Modemi to be raped and infected with HIV and AIDS? She never spoke about it. Instead, she sided with the perpetrators. When we spoke about it, she sent people to attack us, insult us, to plan against us. This woman is evil. This woman, anyway, I'm not surprised because she is a former wife of an ex-rebel leader. So, yeah, no matter what you people say, but yeah, that's who she is. They say, show me a friend, I'll tell you who you are.
Okay,
She
Jamel,
is
your
an
take.
associate. I'm not done yet, Linford. She's an associate of Taylor. So she have the same evil in her. And I will always talk, maybe the Liberian women did something to her that she's paying back. It's like she's paying back to the Liberian because she's always citing perpetrators. She never once stood up for our Liberian children, especially women. Innocent children are being raped and abused. I almost sit there and do nothing. Rather, she always on the other side to defend. So you are right. I support what you said. And I also join you. I have been saying that and I continue to say that. And there is nothing Joy Howard Taylor you can do to me because I'm unshakable. I am small like an ant, but I can bring a whole lion or a whole elephant down. I'm not afraid. I will continue to speak truth to power. You are vice president, the first female vice president of Liberia. You have done nothing. You sit there. The alarming rate of rape is just beyond imagination in that country. And my last topic on the news, please. I just listened to it. There's a journalist by the name of Betty. That's a very good journalist from Front Page Africa, a young lady who always speak truth to power. And now I'm hearing that someone took her to court. I hope that the public will get to know about this. Whoever that want to silence her voice, they will not succeed because, yeah, there's something in our constitution that is called freedom of speech. Everyone has a right to express themselves. Thank you, Linford.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
Linford, I would just want to speak to the journalists that have been taking the court. You see,
Yeah.
there are issues here. They got libel, they got what do you say, defamation, slander, libel, and whatever you call it. Slander, defamation of characters, and in the ethic of journalism. It's an alleged case, okay. What I would say is to speak to the Press Union of Liberia to put up a good team together. These things happen when these write these stories or report these stories. They should come in a way. There should be some code of conduct to protect the journalists. If you also look at it, we also are in Liberia. So other journalists that have used their profession to extort money. I'm not saying she did that, but let's be very careful. Here, with the
I don't think she can do that.
when you're taking a poor journalist to court and you don't have the money, and Lamoy especially, you have to issue how do you say that, when you have to issue a bond to get them out, they may not have that money. So those things are things that those media institutions that are setting up should be able to work with the Press Union of Liberia to come up with a very good team. A good journalist's career could put to an end if you don't have even money to defend yourself in court. So she could be writing the right story or be putting a real story, and because of that, her career is at the end because you can be threatened with court case. So that's what I want to speak on.
Yeah, and for me, my court is that threatening journalists with court, with lawsuit and all these things can also help to kill the profession because people will be afraid. Journalists will be afraid to report. I record, during my own days of practicing, where sometimes you go to the minister will say, no, I can't do it. In fact, tell his security to put you outside. So they do all of these things to intimidate. And mind you, people who do that, there are people who are found guilty, because they already know that they are guilty and they try to intimidate you. You poor journalists because they know that they have power, they got connection, and they can do a lot of things to you. So I will also press Union of Liberia to clamp down hard on this kind of thing, and then to stand up for journalists, because the Press Union is a model organization for all journalists. Okay, so you got to stand for your children, or else sooner you see that the profession is dying, and then we will not have the actual stories going out there. And so we come to the biggest event of the day, which is
Madam Dolly will take the floor.
we come to the biggest event of the day, which is the lawsuit against Mr. Cummings. And a lot of things have been happening. The case has been in court for roughly 3 weeks now, or pretty close to a month. And this case, everybody thought the momentum with which the case started when the lawsuit was issued, right away a writ of arrest was served on Mr. Cummings to appear in court. Okay, and then subsequently we heard the Solicitor General, which is the government prosecutor in this case, came out and on one of the largest platforms in Liberia and said that he got irrevocable proofs, because he was asked this question whether he has seen such a case before that he can build on to prosecute this one, or whether he has sufficient evidence. And he said he got irrefutable evidence. And then following that, fast forward, they went to court, and then later on, the prosecutor has to ask the court for time to gather more evidence. Now, and then they went to court, and again, the same prosecutor was quizzed according to what he said in Chima, that they need more. They say need more time. They don't have the evidence that they want. So he was quizzed by journalists, and he said the prime evidence that they need is with the accused. And so it becomes a little bit frustrating. So in fact, I don't want to abort the discussion before we go there. So we'll listen to the clips and then hear from the person's mouth, and then we can base our discussions on that. So
it can be like we the ones saying it.
Yeah, but our viewers, we encourage you to look on the screen. You're going to see our WhatsApp number pinned there. If you're calling from anywhere else in the world beside the United States, if you're calling from anywhere else in the world, you can use the +4799450882. But if you're calling from the United States, you will use 011-4799450882. And not 001, but 011. So you can call us. Better still, you can follow us on our Facebook page and our Facebook group page. And we are also found on YouTube. And so, guys, we go to the Solicitor General of Liberia. After he was quizzed by journalists, let's hear exactly what the Solicitor General had to say to journalists. But just before we even go, the most interesting part of this thing is when the journalist, when he fell in the web of the journalist, he got confused. Then he asked him, "What am I supposed to say?" So introduce yourself to this.
What am I supposed to say?
Yeah, you're supposed to tell us exactly what happened. I mean, what's the latest from the court?
Were you not allowing the floor?
Judge has suspended ruling into a motion filed to present before you the evidence.
No, listen, our contentious argument is that when the May 19 framework document was signed, it was signed into 5 copies. It was signed into 5 copies. Those 5 copies are in the possession of Cummings. He has not produced them to any of the political leaders. On that basis, we're asking the court, using the law, for them to produce those copies or 1 copy. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
What am I supposed to say?
I don't know if you want to hear from the defense team from Mr. Cummings. I think that would be balanced. We play all two, and then we can draw our conclusion from there. So let's hear from the defense team of Mr. Cummings, led by Abraham Sila.
And this is quite interesting. It is good for the public to know. In our criminal justice system, one who alleges a fact has the burden of proof. So it is quite ridiculous for the Ministry of Justice to accuse, charge the defendants, but they come and say the evidence I'm depending on to prove my case is in your possession, you present it. I say it is ridiculous because it exposes the Ministry of Justice to gross inadequacy. Gross inadequacy and ridiculous. It is an elementary principle of law, like a defendant charged with a criminal with an offense in a criminal case has the right to the presumption of innocence, has the right to remain silent, has the right and the constitutional protection against self-incrimination. Article 21 of the Constitution clearly states that the defendant shall not be mandated, ordered to furnish evidence against himself. How can you, as a Ministry of Justice, the Justice Department of this country, come and request the defendants to produce evidence and you say you rely on to prosecute them? It speaks volume, and I leave that to you to be the judgment of the kind of Justice Department we do have, number one. Number two, of the kind of conspiracy that has been launched and spearheaded, managed, financed by the government against Mr.
Breathtaking.
Wow.
I know before
Wow.
Donald called me, I'll be because it's listen, this is a complete mockery. It's a mockery of justice. It's a mockery of the system. It's an insult to Liberian intelligence. I'm telling you something. This is exactly what I can describe it. I'm not a student of law, but I would tell you, in any case, law case or court case, you must be based on evidence. How do you start a case without evidence? They're telling the man to bring evidence against himself. He's confused. You can see how he looks like. This is a system. No, let's understand. The case against Mr. Comey is a dead case. Simple as that. They just don't know how to get rid of it. That's it. They don't know how to stop the case going. There are ways they're going to let it happen. I believe at the end of the day, they'll just say, you know what? We'll give some time after 2-3 more, come back to court. They'll just be going slowly until he died. That's what I think is going to happen. But it's just a mockery of justice. It's an insult to the intelligence of Liberians. That's what I would say.
Just to add to what Jamel said, exactly what I was saying. I said when I listened to the recordings and on the day after, after they came out of court, so I saw the recording. And the first thing that came to my mind was, these people have made a complete fool out of Liberia. I did not even think about Mr. Cummings. I said Liberia and our university, the only one we have. They have made a complete mockery out of us. Both the judge and the SG went through the doors of Arthur Graham School of Law.
Yeah.
Both of them went through those doors. So what they are telling us, that our law school is, we know it is, but it just proved to the world that this country is messed up beyond imagination. Because this is where I expected Judge Joma Jala or Joe, whatever his name is, he should have sat there and made an example out of this SG and said, listen, I have given you 5 days. You came without any evidence. Join under the bus. This case is out, finished, and gone. Case closed. This case is thrown out of the court. He will have had recognition to say at least he did the right thing for once in his life. I don't know him, but I would just say that. But instead, you're telling someone to bring evidence against themselves for you to win your case. And you think it's for Mr. Cummings? It's not for Mr. Cummings, though. Let's forget about Mr. Cummings now. Let's think about Liberia for once.
Oh my God.
Because I was just beyond. I was like, this cannot be happening. No, these people cannot stand and speak to cameras and journalists and say these things. And the world is watching us. And he called himself SG, Judge. Really? Seriously? He should go. If I was the judge, I won't even go to my chamber. I will resign. The SG, he need to resign. I mean, he need to resign, and he needs to be fired.
The man need job. He need money. Like, I forget her. No money there. The man resign. I will be rough.
Well, then the better you resign than be fired. Because if there were real government in place, they were fired both of them long time ago.
But like sis saying, it's an insult to the profession, man. You can't do this. It's an insult to the profession. The legal system. This is. I mean, this is a country. Anything happening, you see a snake in the mansion. You see a container of money got missing. Nobody know the word about it. Everything is happening in that country. I mean, this is serious, man. I mean, this is serious.
Before Andrew coming, and you know, to make it worse is that this case is supposed to be a high-profile case that the world is watching.
Right.
So this is where the judge should have made his name. And forget about it being the government hands inside of the SG is his best friend. He should have made his name. He should have called it for what it is. But again, as I said, it's a disgrace to Liberia, to the University of Liberia, and to every Liberian. It's a disgrace.
It is serious. But what I was trying to say quickly, I knew Andre, you see your last. I know you're going to drop your bomb. I don't know what we're going to say because the situation in Liberia is.
I'm just listening to you guys.
I mean, the situation in Liberia is unbelievable. You know, I was talking to a colleague, he's a journalist in Europe. He was telling me about the case. He said, "What can we report? There's nothing to report. It doesn't get any. The story does not have any juice in it. I mean, those are the guys that were elected. When you say one election was held, after the framework document was signed, and they have people elected to the various, like the senators were elected. After almost a year or two, they tell me about these documents. Where were you? Where are the documents? And now you bring the case up. So you're asking me some information when I give it to him. You say, look, Jamal, be serious. You guys don't mean business. So this is why you see this case not being reported in the international media, because you see no sense in it. It does not make sense. Today, the story about what happened to the people that got killed in that stampede is all over on BBC, the major news cable outside. The Kumi case is not going anywhere. This thing, Liberians are jokers. I'm seriously telling you, you don't hear in the news, because if you look at this case itself, it does not make sense.
Yeah.
Forget about Kumi. It's just an insult to the profession. That's it.
That's what I said.
They say, like you say, it's an insult to the legal profession. Sitting there making up cases now, asking the defendant, it's a defendant asking to bring a case against yourself, evidence against yourself. Why have you heard that? Oh my goodness.
Andrew, sorry,
Yes,
Andrew, sorry. And what really baffles me is that when this SG came out and he was giving his press statement, whatever, and he said they asked him for 5 documents that was 5 documents signed,
5 copies.
Copies signed, and Mr. Cummings have all 5.
If Mr. Cummings have all 5, then
that's what he said.
How can you prosecute him if he has all 5? How can you take him
I
to
don't
court? How can
understand.
you
So
evidence?
Jamal will sign a copy, then Cummings take it. You sign your own, then Cummings correct.
No, even if they did sign it online, if they did sign online, he kept in his house. So what, they need police to go raid his house and take all the 5 copies. How many collaboration parties are there anyway?
4.
So who got it? Where the 5th one coming from?
For
NEC.
Oh really? And that guy,
he also have NEC copy as well.
Oh yeah, that's a very
good
one.
I'm confused here. So if the 5 copies and Cummings is still in possession of all of those 5 copies, then now you reto Costa. Wait, I'm ready to carry. Okay, wait, let me do the point for answering a camp because I'll be the last.
Go ahead.
Then now you reto Costa show that he was listening to one television show that can make fun out of people, and he heard something that was enshrined within the framework document. He heard it on our comedy show. Then he got concerned. Then he called all of the listen carefully. Cummings supposed to be having a 5 copies here, though. Then he been on that, you record it and normally to send the copy to him. She forwarded it. Then he called Bwaka sent it. Then he said, so where they got all copy from? Then he, according to him again, NEC, somebody from NEC told him, say, that copy your file is not the original copy. So then, but Cummings is still supposed to be having a 5 copies. So how NEC did the copy? Then how did Alice did the copy that you were calling for? So anyway, I try coming.
But Linford, this is embarrassing and disgraceful. You see, that's why you were saying the first day we discussed this topic, you said that our opinion that's our own opinion on this show. Immediately I saw the Solicitor General on Spoon TV discussing a case as high profile as the ANC and the other political party discussing about it on the media, whereas the case is still in court, fresh in court. I knew straight that this case was a mess and it should be thrown out. It should be dismissed. It is unprofessional. And I knew that there's nothing that's going to come out of it. And it kept going on and on. Look at how he disgraced himself. It's a shame. How do you want to prosecute someone and you don't have the evidence to prosecute the man? And you asking the man that you want to prosecute to bring his own evidence for you to prosecute him. Is the man stupid or are you stupid? Solicitor General Cephas, you are stupid. Are you stupid? Do I have to provide?
At the country itself, it's all right.
Stupid is just a word. Like,
am I stupid? It's a strong word.
I say, am I stupid to bring an evidence for someone to prosecute me? Am I stupid or am I dumb? And no, I'm not. There's no way I'm going to give you evidence to prosecute me. And in fact, the laws of Liberia will never allow even that judge, the judge that authorized this unprofessional Solicitor General to give such a motion in the court to ask the defendant to provide these people in order to carry out persecution, he too need to be dismissed. Because it's like your use of going to court, or not to court, of going to the law school is a waste. Or you want to say the sycophancy of the CDC-led government is going in you people here that you are not thinking anymore. The laws that you learn in Louis Arthur Grant School of Law is already washed away with sycophancy. This is a disgrace. We have, for God's sake, we have international partners in that country. And they are going to get reports of everything that happened in the country. Or opposition political leader was persecuted and he was asked by the persecuting lawyer to present evidence in order for him to be persecuted.
But there is one part I like. I don't know if you guys will allow me to just take the response from the Cummings defense team, because something the guy said, something Councillor said, yeah, that is very good. Let me just take it for the sake of it. Let me just take it one more time. Let's listen to that part.
The court will order that person to produce that evidence in a civil action. I repeat in a civil action. In a criminal action, there is a constitutional prohibition.
Okay, there's a constitutional prohibition, and he made reference to several things. But one I think there's a constitutional prohibition that there is no way you cannot ask a defendant, okay, to produce evidence against himself
in a criminal case.
Yes.
Yeah, you cannot do that, because so then what makes, if you do know that a man is guilty, so why are you holding him? Because you should know that he's guilty by evidence, right? So if you do have the evidence to make a man guilty, so why are you holding him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Linfa is just, let me just give answer, because every time we bring issues of court, I always bring the issue of my own case that is going presently, ongoing presently. It was the same thing they did. This man filed a lawsuit against me for defamation of character. He never served me a notice. I was never notified, nothing at the kind. And then they passed a default judgment against me. Fortunately, someone sent me the newspaper and I'm like, what is this? Was I informed? Was there any? Oh no, it's not going to happen. So immediately, because I have the burden of proof, to take my case to the Supreme Court, which is the highest decision making in the country, and tell them that this is this and this is my proof. I was never informed. I live in Belgium. I don't live in Liberia. I have my house in Liberia, and I have my securities living in the house. There was no letter served on them, which the law demands that the person last place of living before they leave the country, you should have checked there and served. All of that, nothing. So I brought all of my proof, Madam Dolly, everything, because the body of proof was on me to prove to the Supreme Court with all reasonable doubt that, yes, they are at fault and I am right. And indeed, when I did all of that, consulted my lawyers, they filed a motion, the petition against this man. When we went to the Supreme Court, they conceded, because I had all of the evidence. Yes, they conceded before the justice in chamber, and they said, yes, we didn't know where to find her. Oh, you didn't know where to find her. What did the law say? What did the law say? And that was how the whatsoever verdict was canceled. So this is the law. When you want to take an action against someone, Solicitor General, I am not a law student. I don't have any idea of law. I'm a science student, and I left, I did business, which is accounting, and got my BSc in business administration. So I don't know much about law, but a little thing I know about Constitution and our politics, I can defend myself in the court at any time.
And the law somewhere in the law also says, I think Councillor Silla also touched on it earlier on, that the accused, and this is, I think this is universal, that the accused is presumed or has a right to presumption of innocence.
Innocent until proven guilty.
You're asking the same accused to present to you document, because that document alone could be utterance, you know, that is like, he knows that he's supposed to be silent. He's not supposed to say. That's why in America or in a judicial, well-functional judicial system, when you are arrested, they tell you that remain silent. Everything you say will be counted against you. So you can't arrest me. Then you asking me to give you proof, like you know. So
like I'm dumb. I'm a buffoon. It's just like Madam Dolly, I want to defend my case, and they are asking the opposite person, say, bring the proof so I can defend my case and show that you are wrong. Are you serious?
I think we've covered all of our topics for tonight, and then our viewers, we want to say thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much.
You disciplined the well, and I don't know if I should grade you. I don't know.
I'll clap for her.
No, you grade her
That's up to you guys. That's up to you guys.
Thumbs up.
That's up to you guys.
Just to make a comment, I know I would like to do it when she's not here, but I will do it for this time while she's here. She understood the topic. She presented well. Gave a view on the both sides. Her views were balanced, which I like. I think people love. She got a very balanced view on the issues, and she's not emotional about issues. She's not putting herself around it. She look at the issue from the all perspective. So that makes her up to 95% if I have to grade her.
Boy,
wow.
Thank you.
That's it.
Me, I gave her 100%.
I know because she told you how they like.
No. Don't bring that other politician.
Okay. I will.
She did excellent. Her communication, everything was smooth with the team. That's her first time, but it was like she had been on the show like every day with us. So yeah, I'm impressed. So 100. We looking forward to seeing you every time.
The platform is new, so we're looking for a way to build it up, and we're looking for a way to build it up in a way that it will be credible. You know, at the end of the day, we're all Liberians, right? So whatever we say, it affects somebody, and somebody it can also transform somebody positively. We can sit here, I castigate you castigate me, but at the end of the day, we all are looking for a better Liberian. That's why sometimes I can't on a heavy attack when I post, and my posts are very cantankerous. Every time I post, get one line, you see, I'll get a lot of people. Then I ask them, I say, well, listen, do you honestly think that I want something from Liberia now? No, I can't live two places at once. I live here. I don't need anything Liberia. The food you're eating there today, I'm not eating it here. So why you think I will care for Liberia so much if I didn't mean well for Liberia? We do this thing because we mean well for our country. We got families there. And when we go back, when we want to live in a peaceful society, imagine, right now, I'm thinking, next year, my holiday, where can I go? I'm a friend. See, and people tell me, oh, no, Liberia is safe. Liberia is safe. Then we hear all the bad news. So we try to fix Liberia for the betterment of everybody. And so, we at times would disagree. And when we disagree, at the end of the day, we all want a better Liberia. So for our viewers, this is the bottom line. We discuss the issues here. We go to the deepest part of it, which is the bottom. And we also made recommendations. And we will encourage our viewers, if you have any recommendations that can make the show to look good, you let us know. And we respect everybody's view here. We don't condone insults, because we do not insult anybody here. And one thing I like about Liberia nowadays, they got talk show where you can go and course. So if you are bringing so much to course, go there. If you want to discuss the issue, then you can.
They have the blackmailing talk show, the cussing talk show.
The talk show where nobody can respect anybody, But
before you are very troublesome. You don't talk, but when you say one word, going straight.
But at the end of the day, we are all Liberians and we love each other. We want a better Liberia. So I want to say thank you very much to all of you guys. Jamel, you are great there from the UK. And
Thanks for having me.
Andre, you are very great there from Belgium. And you know,
Oh,
the show is balanced tonight. 2 men, 2 women. So it was
Two
really
women,
balanced.
two,
Yeah, nobody dominated the other one. So
we equal.
Darling, we look forward to seeing you on Tuesday and Friday next week. And
thanks for having me. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
and our listeners, we've been announcing that we have the Saturday's edition of the program, which is called On the Same Patron Line. That segment is called the ANC Night, and the producers are not here on the show right now, so I can't say anything much about it, whether they're coming out tomorrow or not. But
they need to come on. No, it's time.
Just in case they do not come on tomorrow, because sometimes technical things happen. If they do not come on tomorrow, that's just some public service announcement that I'm making. So you can tune on next week Saturday for the bottom. I mean, the bottom line, the how you call that, the AFC night section of the bottom line. So thanks for watching, and we encourage you to be back here next week, guys. And the final word, 1 minute, 30 seconds each. I'm giving the time, 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds.
I'll start. I would like to say thank you for all those who listen, and thank for Sis Dolly Nelson for joining us today. She was called yesterday unprepared, and she showed up very prepared. So we appreciate that, and we like to have her all the time if she has the time. Like you said, we also will appreciate any comment, suggestions for the show. It's a new show. We want to build a platform. We want to we want to get the issue to the bottom line in this country, where we discuss the trending issues in Liberia and about Liberia. And I would like to say a big thank you to all those guys for the effort behind the scene and also in the studio. Thank you very much, and thank you to you, Linford. You've been doing a great job, boss.
Okay, thank you too, Jamal. Andre?
Not much to say. I've already said it. Thanks to all our viewers, and yeah, we'll see you again on our next edition. Okay. Thanks, Madam Dolly. It was nice having you today. Continue to come every day.
Well, yes, it was really nice. It was really nice being on, and we touched on almost every topic, important topic, and it was nice. It's good to have our people informed and for them to understand what we don't live in Liberia, but Liberia is here. As I always tell people, it doesn't matter how many nationality we might own, how many different passports we might own. When you ask where you're from, the person you say Liberia. Even if you say Norway or United States, they say, originally, Liberia. So we love Liberia. We want the best for Liberia. We want to see Liberia prosper. We want Liberians to feel proud of themselves, to know their value and their worth, and to do for themselves that we all doing for ourselves. So I wish, and thank you for having me on. Good night.
Okay.
And have a pleasant weekend.
And just before we go, there is this one person, there are 2 people watching on YouTube, and the person asked us, I think they are new. They say, hey, what are you guys about? We are about, this is a talk show platform where we discuss, like you heard one of my colleagues say, we discuss all of the issues about Liberia, social, economic, political, human interest, and just everything about Liberia. All the good things about Liberia we discuss. The bad ones we also discuss, and we make recommendations, and we try to find. So at least that person is one of the viewers. So we like to say thank you, and so this is how we like to take our leave of you on this edition of the program, The Bottom Line. My name is Linford Gwe, and Jamel Kamara was there in the UK, Andre Jallo in Belgium, and Madam Dolly Nelson in Norway, and I am in Norway too. So goodbye, guys, and have a nice day.